Hello, and welcome to Tea with Jess. I'm Jess Montgomery, author of the Kinship Mystery Series. And as Nana, one of my kinship characters, says, life is hard, have tea. So today, my tea mug is my favorite disaster mug. You all have seen this before, those of you who've tuned in before. It's a fun little mug with all these interesting little characters running around, everything from Bigfoot to Velociraptor to giant toad. Why not? So thank you for joining me for Tea with Jess. I want to share just a few things with you. One is I had a wonderful time this past weekend at a book event in Lewisburg, Ohio. So shout out to Lewisburg, Ohio, and to the Brown Memorial Library. It was wonderful to appear there and chat with fans and readers about my books. And it was a special treat as well because the Brown Memorial Library was actually one of 23 libraries that had chosen The Widows, the first book in the Kinship series, as a community-wide read. And I was supposed to give a talk and have an interview and an appearance at Lewisburg High School and also up at Edison State Community College to celebrate The Widows being a novel chosen by voters at 23 different 23 different libraries as the community read. What an honor. Of course, all these wonderful events were scheduled to happen late March 2020 / early April 2021 or 2020. So I guess we all kind of know what happened. At that point in time, late March, early April of 2020, COVID hit. Became a global pandemic. And so all my presentations and interviews for this lovely honor were canceled, as well they should have been. The organizers of the community-wide book read and of the libraries did the absolute right thing. But it was still disappointing. And so when Mary, who is the director of the Brown Memorial Library, reached out and asked if I would come speak to her book club and other folks from Lewisburg, of course I said yes. She was one of the part of one of the 23 libraries. And not only that, but my understanding is the library there went to the Village Council of Lewisburg a year and a half ago and asked for additional funds to buy more copies of The Widows to be in their library. And the Village Council said yes. So how could I not say yes to that? Of course I went. And everybody was kind and charming, and it was lovely. And, it was a nice celebration of, hey, we all, we made it through. Those of us who had gathered at least made it through. And, I got to chat with a nice gathering of kinship fans, which was quite delightful and an honor. So what else is going on in my life? Well, I swam earlier today. I am trying something new for working out. I am going to deep water workouts twice a week, Tuesday and Thursdays mornings, and then Monday and Wednesday mornings, I'm swimming. Now, I am swimming very badly. My goal, and I've achieved this thus far, is to not puke in the pool, to not drown, and to not crash into people on either the lanes on either side of me. I can only do the backstroke. I don't know why I can do the backstroke, but I can. So that's the the style I'm using. I can't even do a very good modified backstroke. Somehow the backstroke is the technique I can use. I managed to swim. So go figure. I don't know. So that's what I'm doing. My I'm able to go for half an hour, which sounds impressive. Well, to me, it sounds impressive, but it's really kind of not, because it's a half hour of, I do a lap, I take, depending on how winded I am, I take a break, and then I, do another lap. So sometimes I can do 2 laps pretty well in a row, and I'm up to 8 laps um, in the in a half hour with including the breaks. So, but you got to start somewhere, right? And so my goal is not to become a great swimmer. I will never become a great swimmer. I failed swimming 3 times as a kid. Part of it is that I was born legally blind. And so when you're a little kid and you're legally blind and you're in a swimming class with a bunch of other people and you're kind of afraid of the water anyway, you're not going to become a very good swimmer. But it's a great way to work out that doesn't impact my joints. I've got some lower back issues. So that's one reason I've, switched up or added this to walking. And for the deep water, we wear flotation belts. So, you don't have to be a great swimmer. You don't have to be a swimmer at all to do deep water workouts. So I just share this because sometimes you have to put out in the universe what you're doing to kind of help you commit to it. So like now that I've announced via Facebook Live that I'm swimming, I'm going to have to keep swimming, right? And the other reason that I'm sharing this with you is that I think it is perfectly fine and okay to do things poorly. I think that we have too much emphasis on either you do something super well or you don't do it at all. And that the goal is always to be really great at whatever you're doing, or the goal is to make money from whatever you're doing. The only way I could make money from swimming would be people paying to not watch me swim. This is honestly how bad of a swimmer I am. I do manage to stay in my lane. So I think it's okay to kind of look those expectations in the eye of you have to be really great at something, or you have to make money from it, or it's not valid, and go, oh, push posh. No, you don't. My goal is, like I said, to get a decent workout. Eventually, I want to work up to my ultimate goal is not ultimate, but ultimate for now goal. I guess it's my ultimate goal in swimming is to work up to 12 laps and only pause long enough to make the little turn at the end of each lap. And that's going to take a while. But for me, that will be progress. And, maybe eventually I'll learn another swimming style besides the backstroke. I don't know. I'll have to be brave and figure it out and be willing to be really bad and be willing to say, since I'm not a strong swimmer and I'm a little nervous in water, depending on the water, I'm a lot nervous. I'm not nervous at our pool because it's a pool and there are 2 lifeguards and there are people all around me. And, this is not the ocean I'm swimming in. It's a pool. But I have to be, willing to kind of know my own limits and then push past them just a little teeny bit at a time. So that's why I share with you about swimming. Maybe there's something in your life like that you'd like to try or return to, and maybe you just need to hear it's okay to be bad at whatever it is, right? If you enjoy it and it's good for you and you're not hurting anyone and you're not either literally or metaphorically puking in the pool, then I say go for it. The other thing I wanted to share with you today is, and I'm sharing this with you first, because if you're watching, you're probably a fan of my work and you deserve a reward. So thank you. And it's kind of ironic because I just talked about swimming, but I have a short story called Down River, and it is being published by Minotaur Books. It's a short story. It's not a novel. It's a short story. And it will include the first chapter of my next novel, The Echoes. And it's an ebook only. It's a short story, but it's an ebook in e format only. But it's available on any platform for ebooks. So Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Kobo, wherever you get your ebooks. And it's free. It's absolutely free. It is a thank you to fans for reaching 5,000 followers and likes on my Jess Montgomery author page. So thank you for that. And when I shared this with the wonderful publishing team at Minotaur Books, we said, how can we celebrate? And we said, hey, a short story free to one and all. So slowly letting people know about this short story. It's called Downriver. Please go on and pre-order it. Like I said, it's free, but you still have to pre-order it because it's not being published until December 7th. But go ahead and pre-order now, and it'll pop mysteriously and magically and at no cost to you in your whatever app you use to read ebooks, e-stories, and I would love for you to read it. It's not a kinship story. It is historical. It is a standalone short story, and I would love for you to read it and let me know what you think about it. Downriver. Speaking of books, switching from me, I want to tell you about next week. I will be excited and honored to interview none other than the wonderful Hank Philippi Ryan. Her newest book, called Her Perfect Life, is out tomorrow. So that launches tomorrow. So make sure to run to your bookstore, run to your library, get a copy of Hank Philippi Ryan's Her Perfect Life. I was blessed to get an early copy. It's, of course, edge of your seat, riveting and wonderful. And we'll have to ask Hank, how does she do it? How does she construct these amazing plots that are so page-turning and so interesting? So I'm looking forward to chatting with her next week here on Tea with Jess. In the meantime, go get Hank's book. Go get my free short story, Downriver. And in the meantime, make sure to take care of yourselves. Maybe try something new you haven't tried before or that you've wanted to start up again. Don't judge yourself as to whether you're great at it or not. And take care of one another and take care of yourself. Be kind. Life is hard. Have tea.